Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for when you come to them. For the tarot, I'm using Wild Reflections Tarot by Spell. I think I'm saying that right. There's a couple things with it. There is this QR code, I think is what it's called, with some information on it. So feel free to freeze frame on that if you want that information. There's also the website on the back, yspell.com. So if you want to see that, you can freeze frame and get that information if you want it. Yspell, I think, is down over here somewhere. Okay. For the Oracle cards, Wisdom of the Hidden Realms by Colette Baron Reed. I want to say the websites are here in the back. I'm pretty sure there's a Colette Baron Reed website. I don't know if it's at the bottom of that, though. I thought I already had this out. There's the illustrator information there. If you want it, feel free to freeze frame and check out what you would like to see. And then ColetteBaronReed.com. Yeah, it's in the back of the book. There we go. Hopefully that's focusing so you can see it. Okay. And I use dice as well. I use a 22-sided dice. I replaced 22 with 0 for the major arcana. And then I use a 14-sided dice for the minor arcana. And I use a 4-sided dice to choose the element of the minor arcana. Math Art Fun. MathArtFun.com. Hopefully you can see that one too. Through that bag. MathArtFun.com. If you're interested. That's where those dice came from. Okay, with that being said, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and let's get into your reading. Hello, Aries. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Aries? It's a very colorful cards. That's a very interesting card too. You got the Two of Wands showing up. And in this deck, it's very interesting because it makes it seem more leisurely than I think it usually is. I think a fire is quick. And when I see the Two of Wands coming in, it talks about a choice coming up. People around this. Are these people helpful? Okay, so I don't think it's odd to see something taking a little bit extra time than me. I don't know. Are you okay with this taking time? That's interesting. Whatever the situation is, you pay attention to it, but I feel like you're not, it's not that you're not, is it you're not ready, or is it something else? Maybe you haven't made up your mind what you really want to do with it just yet. I don't know what I want. I feel like that's more it. I don't know what I want to do with it. King of Cups, or no, that's the Queen. Queen of Cups. Yep, you got the Queen of Cups down here, so it's being repeated. And the Magician on the dice. So the dice are showing the Queen of Cups. It's the 13 and the 4. The 4 I use as water. I feel like I'm like looking at the situation, and I feel like something isn't showing itself yet. Something hasn't come to the surface. It's kind of like when I'm looking at a pool of water and I see bubbles, and I'm like, where are those bubbles coming from? I'm like, I know there's something in there. I'm not really sure that I want to be in there with it, but I want to know what it is. And now I got to figure out how do I move this around a little bit so I can at least see what it is. I want to know what it is. And I think that may be one of the reasons that you haven't moved forward yet. Because, like, I don't know what it is yet. And it could be really good or it could be very negative. I don't know just yet. And I'm waiting. Aries can be strategic. This might be a strategic move. The situation currently is not changing or doing much. But I feel like, yeah, it might be just one of those things where it's waiting to be triggered. And once it's triggered, it will change. But I want to know what it's going to be. What is it going to do? What is that thing? I can't. If I knew what it was, I could decide how I want to handle it. But I don't know what it is. And I'm not looking just like it's kind of like looking at a mud puddle and you're seeing the bubbles. Like I don't want to step in there and get stung by something. At the same time, if it's something really good, I don't want to like just pass it by. So I don't know yet. So there's energy coming forward. Somebody else has information. But can you trust the information? I think that's why I'm questioning it. Like, do they have information? Okay. Temperance reversed. There's inaction. Inaction from somebody else that they seem to have information. They seem to. This keeps showing up. I keep feeling it comes in a few different ways. This card, they're not moving, but they seem to think they know what it is. And you're like, I feel like I'm looking at this like you're saying you know what this is, but you're not doing anything about it. So, do you really, or are you saying? Are you trying to make me think you know what it is so that I'll move on it, and then you can find out for sure? I'm kind of looking at somebody like I don't know if I trust them. I feel like I'm kind of like I don't know if I trust them. I don't know about this. And I feel like I've made a decision. It looks like I'm moving on. Because I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't know. I don't like what people are telling me. I don't know if I could trust it. I'm going to move on. I might come back to it, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not worried about it. I feel like I hit this moment where I'm just kind of frustrated with it. And I'm just like, I don't even know if this is worth it. I'm just going to walk away from it for now. And I feel like I just kind of move in a split second. I just kind of move on. Like, I'm just going to move on from it from right now, and I'll do something else. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. It seems like this is actually a good move. I also think you're going to return to it. And I feel like that's not out of the realm of possibility. It's just, I don't think you're planning. I really don't think you're planning to come back to it. But you're not opposed to it. You're not planning to, though. Why do you end up coming back to it is a good question. Because I do see Sun card and the Queen of Swords half in, half out, which is kind of some good characteristics, some not so good characteristics. Somebody comes in and they're saying, hey, Aries, before you go, how about you don't? And here's why. Yeah, Gaia's Garden here, which is a lot of, this is like a prosperity, bounty, abundance, energy, a lot of good things coming out of this. Somebody else has put the effort in, and somebody else wants something to come of this situation. They are telling you with proof what you want to hear. Okay, so I don't think they're giving you the whole story. The Queen of Swords half in, half out makes me feel like they're telling you the good parts and have proof, but they are definitely showing it in a light that works best for the situation. There's something they want out of this. I don't think they're working against you, by the way. I don't really feel that, but I also get like they definitely want to convince you, so they're upplaying the things you like and downplaying the things you don't. They are probably going to bring forth a couple things that aren't too favorable about the situation, but in a way that you can overcome them, because also they see you as a realistic person. If they just give you sunshine rainbows, you're going to be like, oh, this is crap. This ain't real. Come on. So they know that they have to give you some detriment to it. They have to show you some part of the downside to it. They're going to do that, but they're going to show it in your favor where you can overcome it. Or at least they're going to show it in a way where you're going to be like, oh, I can overcome this by that. And they're going to quietly think to themselves, yeah, I know, that's why I said it to you. So there's that. Whoever this is pretty good at getting what they want. Keep that in mind. I don't know if they're good or bad. I don't know, but they are trying to get you involved in this. Now, the next thing is, I find this interesting. Because I do feel like somebody convinces you to get involved with this situation, or kind of like, all right, the bubbles. I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna get in this pool of water, and I'm gonna actually get a little closer. It's almost like somebody gave me scuba gear, and it's kind of like, all right, I got scuba gear. It's a pool of water, maybe enough that I could use scuba gear, just for argument's sake. I'm gonna get in there, and I'm gonna find out what this is. I'm gonna do it. Somebody else is helping you do this, though. I don't think you're doing it by yourself. I don't think you're doing this by yourself. No. Ironically, whoever you're doing it with, they're not the worst, but I feel like I wouldn't choose to hang out with them. But they're not that bad. I feel like you know what I mean by that. They're not that bad, but I wouldn't choose to hang out with them. And they're very smart, is what I'm also getting. Maybe almost obnoxiously slow. So the way I'm looking at this situation, I'm hopefully giving this the correct way. Somebody's working with you. It's like they're giving you the scuba gear to get in the pool of water. They're getting in the water with you. Up until that point is good to follow. But when you're in the water, if you let them continue to lead, so this situation, when you're in the situation, so like they're taking you to it, they're getting you the gear, they're preparing you for it, let them lead up to that point. But when you're in the situation, you're in the water, if you let them continue to lead, you're subject to the Wheel of Fortune. Could go good, could go bad. This is not the idea. They're saying this isn't the best idea for this situation. Now, what's best for the situation, and it's going to sound the way it's going to sound. It's going to sound the way it's going to sound. They're saying you need to not only take control of what you want, maybe I just gave it all there. Take control of what you want. You want to know what that is. Where are those bubbles from? Locate the bubbles. Figure out what the bubbles are. Just do what you know how this goes. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. They don't like it. They don't have to like it. Worry about it later. Worry about it later. This is what actually moves it forward. This takes the mystery out of it, because it's kind of like if you're working with somebody else and they're afraid of those bubbles, you may never find out what those bubbles are. Or if they're afraid of those bubbles, they might jar it and whatever it is gets away. You might figure out what it is, but it might slip past you before you can make anything good from it. Kind of like, oh, we found out what it was, but now it's too late. It got away. If you go for it, you're going to find out what it is and you're going to catch it. It's about the bigger picture. It may seem selfish for a short period, but long wise, like I feel like if I already agreed that I'd share the bounty, it's kind of like, all right, technically everybody's going to benefit anyway. I just did it my way. They'll get over it. Especially if this is a corporate situation or some type of business situation. Sometimes people are afraid to move forward, kind of like, oh, the repercussions could be so horrible. Let people get over it. You know, I was told this by somebody a long time ago. I don't exactly remember how they said it, but like, if you're afraid to get written up, you're not going to get anywhere. And I was just like, oh. They're like, sometimes you just got to be the wrong one. It'll move your head quicker. And I didn't understand it at the time. It's kind of like you can't be afraid to be wrong. You got to go in there and make the mistakes. You got to make the mistakes. You got to be like, all right, it was wrong. Oh, I learned. Moving on. Other people may not get over it, but there's other possibilities out there. Sometimes if you're afraid of being wrong, you're never going to be right. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Like, if you're afraid to move forward, you're never going to go anywhere. You just got to take that chance and go with it. I know that sounds a little bigger picture energy. For those of you who get it, you're going to get it. If it doesn't seem to make sense, don't worry about it. Just keep going. As we keep going on from this situation, there's a lot going on here. Because, like, there might be levels. Like, the person who brought you in versus the person you end up getting paired with might be different. Because somebody here seems to like it that you just go forward and do what you want. So if you have more than one person a part of this situation, Some people might not like it. Better people might. More people more advantageous to you, or people higher up even might like it. People like it when they get advancement in the sense of like, well, if it goes well, that works great for us. We're glad Aries was a part of it. If it doesn't go well, but at least we know who we can blame. I'm not saying that's the best. That might be one of the tricks to this. As long as you're aware of it, you'll be fine. But see that in that light too. As long as it goes well, okay, great, we like it. If it doesn't go well, oh, that's okay. We know who to blame for it. And here's Aries. Aries did it, so we can blame Aries at least. Goes well, great. Aries is awesome. Goes bad, whoop, it was Aries' fault. Just be aware of it. Just be aware of it. Especially if it's a corporate situation. I feel like you probably already know that that's how that works. Just be aware of it. There's a mixed bag of people around you. Especially if it's a corporate situation, it doesn't have to be. But even if it's not, there's a mixed bag of people who like you and don't, people who like it when you move ahead, and people who hate it when you move ahead. There's definitely people here who only like it when you move ahead if they're moving with you. Be aware of that. Be very, very aware of that. Typically, Aries catches onto that quick, but scrutinize it a little bit more. Just watch it a little closely. It doesn't mean you have to verbally call it out, but keep an eye on it. Pay attention to that, because there's a lot of people out there that they only like it when you move forward, when they move with you, because there's a lot of things coming forward here. There's a Four of Swords, Ace of Swords, people being cooperative, people being helpful. I feel like I'm seeing, when I see this Four of Swords over here, I keep getting, it's not like I'm healing my connection with somebody. I feel like I'm healing my understanding of somebody. And I feel like that's healing for you personally. So I hope that makes sense. Because I keep getting this idea, and I feel like I have to hit on it a little harder, that there are people here who like you when they're included in the bounty. But if they're not included in the bounty, they'll find every reason to point you out as the bad person, even if it doesn't go against them. How do I explain? It's kind of like, there's extra cake, and you do something, and you garner that cake, and they get some of it too. Aries is awesome. Say this, you do this again on a different day, and they're not there that day. You garner this extra cake, you share it with the people who were there. They weren't there. All of a sudden, they're like, Aries is the worst person in the world. It didn't hurt them. It wasn't against them. But the fact that you got it and they didn't, now they don't like you. It's that type. And that's where the healing could come in. Because I feel like once you see it, you might even kind of get to that next level, like it has literally nothing to do with you. You can even see this pattern play out with other people. Somebody they think, you think they're friends with this person. Same scenario. That person, they're there. That person's there. That person gets something extra. They share it with this troll person. Oh, they're great. We love them. Same type of thing. They get something extra. That person's not there. They share it with people that are there. All of a sudden, that person's bad news. Bad news. It's more about seeing people for who they are and not taking it personally, but just kind of being like, that's them. That's their personality. It doesn't matter if I'm here or not. It has nothing to do with me the way they're acting. They just act this way with everybody. And just kind of seeing them for who they are. If you can step away and see it to that level, it's kind of like you don't take it personally anymore. You're just kind of like, no, they're just who they are. They're just showing you who they are. And anybody who plays into that, that's their thing. That's their problem. Although I know Aries a little bit better than that. People that you value, you'll probably point that characteristic out. You're kind of like, hey, I like you. We get along well. I just want to point out this person that you think is your friend. Pay a little bit closer attention because they treat you like crap when you're not looking. That type of thing. I feel like you'll tell people, if applicable, if you feel that they're worth it. The situation also keeps evolving forward. You become more self-sufficient in this situation, especially if it's a corporate arena. I know I keep bringing that back, but once you play this game once and they like how you play it, you'll keep moving forward is what I'm getting. More self-sufficient, more doing what you want, more solidified in the situation. This is a pentacle energy. You'll be more in control of everything you're doing, but always, always, always remember, when you do good, they share in the good. When you do bad, it was your fault. It was your fault. As long as you know it, you'll be fine. You'll plan for it. You'll be okay. Because I feel like this is the situation you're dealing with. You do good, oh, everybody feels like we're all included in that. Aries did good, we all did good. Aries did bad, well, it's Aries' fault. That was Aries. That Aries did that. You'll be fine. Just see it for what it is. Just see it for what it is, you'll be fine. I'm getting you can thrive with this because you'll know how to maneuver this going forward. You'll know how to protect yourself, and you'll know also when not to share that bounty. Or kind of like, oh, we did good. So it's almost like you swam to the bottom of the river there, pulled up this chest worth $100,000, and you split $90,000 with everybody else, and you kept $10,000 for yourself on the side. So it's almost like if there's 8 other people, so you're one of 9 people. I put out the 90 there. I got 10,000 from that, and I also kept the 10,000 from my side, so I got 20,000 total. But not for nothing, since I'm the one putting up the biggest risk, I deserve the biggest reward. I don't know how that sounds. To me, it sounds strategic. I don't know how it sounds to you. That's kind of how I'm looking at it, though. It's kind of like, if I'm going to be one taking the risk, I should get the better bounty. So, I don't know. I feel like you're going to be in a position to do that. It's up to you whether you play it that way or not. That seems interesting because Aries is right on the level about stuff usually, but also Aries is nobody's fool. And if people are playing it like, okay, I win, everybody wins, I lose, only I lose, okay, well, that's one way we can play this game, but I'm going to make sure that when I do win, I get some extra. I'm going to make sure that I get extra from that since, I win, we all win, I lose, just I lose, okay. I'm going to make sure when I win, I make sure I definitely get my extra. So, take that with a grain of salt. That's how it's coming through. Anything else with this? All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.